Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look out, buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
What's going on in the strike? Chicago mechanic strike. Let me just tell you, there must be something rotten in Denmark, because this whole report on the strike, it kind of smells. The union says the latest counterproposal still did not meet members' standards. Okay? The number of dealerships remaining in the NCDC, that's the National Car Dealers, the New Car Dealers Committee, has fallen from 56 to 36 since the strike began. So they lost 20 dealers right off the bat, saying nope, nope, nope. That according August the 2nd, according to the union. Some employees and dealerships involved in a Chicago area auto strike have decided to leave the Chicago New Car Dealers Committee, as the organization remains locked in a work negotiations with their union in a contract. The employees in question work at 56 dealers and are part of the NCDC. They also belong to the Local 701, part of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers Trade Union. They have been on strike since August the 2nd, just after the majority of them voted on August 1st to reject a 4-year contract proposal offered by the NCDC on the 31st of July. About 11 stores previously indicated that they no longer want to be in the NCDC, which dropped the total number of dealers to 45. 7 more broke away this week, while 2 others signed an agreement with the union and were released due to special circumstances, the union said. That leaves the NCDC with 36 dealerships this week, according to updates on Local 701's website and Facebook page. There's trouble in River City. The dealers don't want to be on strike anymore. They're bailing. You know, this is a bad time. The union, the dealers, they all need to get together and say, hey, let's make it let's just put this together. Let's not get exorbitant on either side until this whole economy comes around and the pandemic is stemmed and there's a cure for this virus and yada, yada, yada. There's too much face in America right now for these guys to be fighting over 35 cents an hour or more. I know there's more to it than that, but they should be able to come to a quick agreement, likable to both sides, and maybe not wonderful for both sides or either side, but likable, to get past this for another year. Make it a 1-year contract. Make it a 2-year contract, max. And then get back and get after what you want. And if you don't get what you want, go on strike. Then you'll be hurting somebody. Do you realize, with no cars being sold, there's no cars being pre-delivered, there's no cars in the dealership? I mean, there's some. I'm not saying zero, but there's not that much left. You could have you could see dealerships going pop, 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 falling over backwards. And the shop, the body shop and the repair shop are their only backbone right now. That's the only income they have on cars that are already on the street. If you stop them now, it's a bad time. Same way with the union members, the rank and file, for the dealers not to give them the crucial things they need in this day and age for inflation, especially inflation right now. Wow. And the other things that are necessary. Come to a quick compromise, make it a 2-year agreement, and after 2 years go right back to battling. Because by then we should be back to the America that you and I know. That's what we should be. Hopefully. I'm looking at too many empty grocery shelves. I just can't take it anymore. Anyway, so listen, the mechanics and the dealers need to stop this and get themselves back on track, or you're going to be losing dealers. They're going to go under. They're going to go belly up because they got no income. No mechanics there to fix shops. They can't sell any cars. The used car sales are down. Everything's crap. Give me a break. I mean, they're looking at a bottom line of, bleh. Well, anyway. General Motors is working with Hertz to get dealers more loaners amid the chip shortage. GM has signed an agreement with the car rental giant to help funnel more loaner vehicles to dealerships amid the global microchip shortage. Hertz's primary focus will be providing the Chevrolet Bolt customers with loaners during the recall process. Well, you got to do something. You can't drive them. General Motors has signed an agreement with the car rental giant Hertz to help funnel more loaner cars to dealerships along the shortage. As an enhancement to GM's existing dealer courtesy transportation program, Hertz will provide loaner vehicles to dealers at the automaker's current rate, a GM spokesperson confirmed to the Automotive News. Hertz's primary focus will be providing Chevrolet Bolt customers. Yeah, we heard that. That's everybody's primary thing at the GM dealers. Come on. And this, I got to tell you, if this isn't Elon Musk, it's just, and I keep preaching about the guy. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. And again, these are the opinions and views heard on this show are strictly your car guy. Have nothing to do with Gerard Media, any of its 5 stations, or of course the media. Who cares about Facebook and Twitter? They're on their own. I see some filthy stuff on there at times that I can't be anything worse than what they already have. But this is my opinion. You're going to get it. Trust me. Tesla Inc. is pressuring the present administration and the U.S. Appeals Court to move quickly to hike civil penalties on automakers failing to meet fuel economy requirements. What a great idea. They're not hurting, are they, these dealers, these automakers? Tesla, which only produces electric vehicles, okay, doesn't have to worry about that, sells their credits that they get for only selling electric vehicles. They don't have to have a meet of corporate fuel economy because they don't have any corporate fuel. To other automakers to help them meet government vehicle emission requirements, and says these credits are less valuable due to changes in the rules. Yeah. In other words, he wants more money for his credits. This is blackmail. As far as I'm concerned, they're holding out. This is not right. Tesla met virtually on August 30th with officials from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, according to a document filed by the agency last week. On August 18th, the NHTSA issued a notice saying it could impose higher penalties for prior model years for automakers failing to meet fuel efficiency requirements, but will first consider public comments. Automakers have warned that hiking penalties could cost them at least $1 billion annually, both for failing to meet the rules and higher prices for credits used to meet the rules. Now, I'm just going to tell you, and this is, well, we're going to finish this. I'll tell you in a minute. Tesla on August 27th, separately again, asked the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to quickly reinstate higher penalties. The court rejected Tesla's request in April for immediate action pending NHTSA's review. When you've got them down, Elon, you kick them. Oh yeah, these internal guys that are selling internal combustions, they can't get any chips. The dealerships are faltering. They got Chicago, they got them on strike. They're hurting. They got nothing to sell. They're trying to sell whatever they've got for way over sticker, and people are remembering that. The times are terrible for the dealers right now. Terrible. And Elon, he wants them stick it to him because he sells an electric car. He doesn't have to meet corporate fuel economy. He wants to sell his credits, and he wants to sell them at a much higher rate because you guys really need them. Well, guess what? If they can't make any cars, my pal, Elon, how are they going to pay you? And who cares what comes out the back of the plant? What kind of pollution it does if nothing comes out the back of the plant? I mean, there's no cars. Stop it. Leave these guys alone. Let's see what the corporate fuel economy is. You have no idea. These cars aren't on the road yet. They haven't been down the street. They haven't left the plant. They're made and they're put out in the pasture and they're sitting there waiting for chips. And that's I wouldn't be surprised if you were behind part of the chip shortage too, you bum. That wouldn't surprise me. But I'm not going to say he is, but I'm just going to stop short of that. I'm going to tell you like it is. he's got the world by the butt right now because he doesn't have any internal combustion cars to meet corporate fuel economy standards, and he does want more for his little chips that he sells those guys, so they can make a car that makes a little less gas mileage, but it's a little more luxury. And that's why they buy his credits, they call it. Elon. We're still talking about chips, and we were speaking of Infineon. Why don't we talk a little bit more about Infineon? They shut down for 2 hours. Oh my God, it's going to be a terrible thing, they said. They don't know how it's going to affect the chip shortage. I don't know how 2 hours could affect that chip shortage as bad as it is anyway, but it's up to you to decipher that. Now, in Villach, Austria, Infineon Technologies opened a 1.6 billion euro, that's a 1.9 billion buckos, plant in Austria, boosting the German semiconductor company's ability to supply power chips for cars, data centers, and renewable power generation. But they don't say how great it's going to be for the business, how it's going to stop the shortage. The plant in Villach, ready 3 months early, wow, will make chips on 300 millimeter wafers. That's thinner than a human hair. God, this is so technical. Operating in tandem with a mega fab with an existing plant in Dresden, Germany, and adding up to 2 billion euros a year in revenue. That's what their supplier said. The extra production of specialist power chips in Villach will serve growing demand for EV electric vehicle data centers and wind and solar power facilities, but it will not immediately help ease the broader semiconductor crunch. So they're really trying to hype this up. There is no fix. Nothing's going to change it. The chip shortage, we're all going to die. We're like Chicken Little. Run around with your head cut off. Oh my God, who will help me make the... I'm telling you. I lose it. Chip shortage will cost the industry $210 billion. This is a new finding. Consulting firm Alix Partners, A-L-I-X, Alix Partners, I guess, said Thursday that ongoing semiconductor chip shortage will cost the global automotive industry $210 billion this year, a greater revenue loss than previously thought. Plus, on top of what Elon's trying to get them fined for not making their gas mileage. The figure is up considerably from their May forecast, in which it estimated a loss of $110 billion. Yeah, I'd say that was up slightly. It's $100 billion. That's billion with a B now. That's not million. Alix Partners also says production of 7.7 million vehicles could be lost. Wow. That's nearly double the 3.9 million vehicles the firm said about last May. Well, of course, everyone had hoped that the chip crisis would have abated by now. But unfortunate events, such as the COVID-19 lockdown in Malaysia and the continued problems elsewhere, have exacerbated things. Mark Wakefield, global co-leader of the automotive and industrial practice at Alix Partners, said in a statement. So in other words, you can't get there from here. I just don't. I don't know what to tell you. The global chip shortage is the global chip shortage. And we're living with it, and we are vulnerable to whatever they tell us. One company does this, one company does that, one company says this, one company says that. But overall, the only news we're getting is dark and dim. Whew. Well, in case you haven't noticed, don't you love when I fly all over the automotive business like this, Eric?
Just a little.
I'm like a loose cannon here.
You hit all the important car issues globally.
Oh,
not just nationally, but
not
globally.
in any particular order.
And
that's for
exactly,
sure.
in no order.
Used vehicle prices in the U.S. rose again in early September after slipping over the summer. Oh my God. The latest trends in the key indicators suggest wholesale used vehicle values will likely see further gains in the days ahead, according to a Manheim report. That's who does the big Manheim auction. They're big. Wholesale used vehicle prices rose rather significantly in the first half of September. No, compared to the first half of August, said Michelle Krebs, an executive analyst at Cox Automotive. Dealers appear to be stocking up on used vehicles, which have seen supply stabilize somewhat, to have something to sell because the new vehicle inventory remains low. The used vehicles, there are none. I have customers that need a new vehicle, and they're looking for used, and they're out shopping, and when they do find something, oh my God, do me a favor, promise me that you will not buy a car from the side of the road. Go to a recognized dealer. At least the dealer is not going to jam some rebuilt piece of garbage into your wallet. I mean, it's terrible what's out there. I mean, I just had a car in the other day. Just to make it safe to drive is going to be $2,000. And they just bought it last week. If they'd have brought it over before they bought it, which, by the way, my company doesn't charge for. We do used car inspections. We've been doing them for 40 years for free. Simply because I don't want my customers to buy a piece of garbage. Don't do that.